you're losing. Right now, as you read this, you're losing opportunities. And what's worse, you're losing because you believe you're doing everything right. This is the cost no one told you about being too nice, too available, too eager to impress. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how women choose who they go to bed with. And no, it's not what they taught you. Brace yourself, because this truth will hurt before it sets you free. Since childhood, you've heard the same old tune. Be nice, be a gentleman. Show that you're a good provider. Respect her, listen, always be available. Do everything for her. And then you grew up, became a man, followed the script to a T, and discovered the script was wrong. You put in the effort, invested your time, were patient, and in the end, she chose the guy who barely replied to her texts. You were kind, attentive, present, and she hit you with that soul-crushing line. You're an amazing guy, but I see you more as a friend. It didn't make sense, but it does, and it makes a lot of sense when you understand the real mechanics behind attraction. The truth that will set you free is this: women don't choose based on who treats them best on the surface. Women choose based on who passes their unconscious filter. And that filter isn't looking for passive kindness. It's looking for signals. Signals of self-worth. Signals of self-confidence. Signals that you are a man with purpose, with boundaries, with a life that doesn't revolve around pleasing anyone. When you don't demonstrate these signals, no matter how hard you try, you simply don't pass. It's an ancient, subconscious system, brutal in its efficiency. And you have two options: understand how it works, or keep hitting a wall. Here's the formula no one explained to you. The less you need her validation, the more she desires you. The more you put your own life first, the more interesting you become. This isn't cruelty, it's calibration. It's understanding that attraction isn't a rational negotiation. It's an emotional response to specific signals you emit all the time, whether you know it or not. Let's get to the signals you need to master. First, social value signaling. It's not about having money or status, although those can help. It's about demonstrating that you are respected in your circle, that you have something going on in your life. When you tell a story about a project you led, about how your team trusts you, about that moment you made a tough decision and it worked out, you are signaling. It's not bragging. It's showing substance without asking permission to exist. The invisible man doesn't attract. The man with presence, with real stories, with a life beyond her. That's the one who passes the filter. Second, interest calibration. Have you ever pushed when you should have pulled back? Sent 3 texts when she replied to one with 2 words? That's called miscalibration. It's you signaling desperation. Calibration is adjusting your investment to hers in real time. If she physically pulls away during a conversation, you don't invade her space. You take a step back, breathe, reevaluate. If she takes a while to respond, you don't speed up. You mirror her. This isn't playing games. It's social intelligence. It's respecting the signals and not forcing a locked door while ignoring 3 open ones next to it. Third, setting boundaries. This is where most guys mess up. You think being flexible all the time makes you attractive. Wrong. Being too flexible makes you invisible. Boundaries are what separate a man of value from a doormat. When she's late without notice, you don't pretend it's okay just to avoid conflict. You say, "I appreciate punctuality, but I understand things happen. Next time, please let me know." See what happened there? You communicated your standard without being aggressive. You signaled that you have structure, that you respect your own time. And women test this all the time. They want to know if you're firm or if you bend at the first breeze. Fourth, demonstrating leadership or frame control. Frame is the reality you impose on the interaction. When you always ask what she wants to do, where she wants to go, you are ceding the frame. You're saying her reality matters more than yours. Leadership is suggesting, deciding, leading with respectful confidence. It's you saying, "I know an amazing place. Let's go there," instead of staying in the eternal. And if you want, maybe we could go somewhere you like. One is assertive. The other is insecure. She feels the difference even if she doesn't verbalize it. Fifth, perceived scarcity. Do you have a life, or are you always available, waiting for her to call? Men with full lives aren't always online. They have projects, hobbies, commitments, passions. When you casually mention that tomorrow you have that fight training you never miss, or that you're in the middle of a personal project that consumes you, you are signaling abundance. You're saying your life doesn't begin when she appears, and that is magnetic. Scarcity of time, of attention, is a signal of value. The man who is always available signals he has no options, and options create desire. Sixth, reactivity tests. Women test. Always. They make a provocation, an ironic comment, arrive late, cancel last minute, just to see how you react. If you explode, you failed. If you beg, you failed. If you laugh, maintain composure, set a boundary without getting emotional, you passed. These tests aren't malice. They are emotional calibration. She wants to know if you are solid or if you crumble at the first obstacle. The man who reacts with balance signals emotional stability, and emotional stability is irresistible. Seventh, reading body language. Do you ignore the signals? Does she maintain prolonged eye contact, touch her hair, orient her body towards you, laugh at your jokes even? The bad ones? Signals of interest. Does she cross her arms, look at her phone, physically distance herself, give short answers? Signals of disinterest. You need to learn to read the map before you try to navigate. Most men waste energy trying to win over someone who has already decided there's no interest, and they completely ignore those who are sending clear signals. This blindness costs dearly. Let me tell you 3 real stories. First, the 30-year-old programmer. Smart, well-employed, good-hearted, always the shoulder to cry on. He listened to all their problems, was available at any hour, solved everything. And always, invariably, he was put in the friend zone. He didn't understand, until he did. One day he decided to change. He started focusing on his own projects, limited the time he spent being a free therapist, and began inviting women to his activities, to the things he enjoyed, showing his life instead of orbiting theirs. The change was brutal. Suddenly, women who had previously ignored him started paying attention. Why? Because he stopped signaling neediness and started signaling purpose. His cost? Years of frustration, unrequited feelings, believing he was flawed. He wasn't. He was just signaling wrong. Second, the 27-year-old salesman, professionally successful, earned well, but on dates he tried too hard to impress. He always paid for everything, subtly bragged, sought validation in every sentence, and women would disappear after the second date. He was buying attention instead of genuinely attracting it. When he learned to relax, to ask real questions about her, to share his passions without seeking approval, and occasionally split the bill just to see her reaction, everything changed. He started attracting women who wanted to get to know him for real, not his credit card. The cost? Superficial relationships, the feeling of always being used, the belief that women only wanted money. It wasn't true. He was the one signaling that he only had money to offer. Third, the 35-year-old manager. Career success, intelligent, but socially passive. He expected women to give all the signals, initiate everything, decide everything. He didn't take initiative because he was afraid of being inconvenient. Result? Loneliness, until he started practicing direct approaches, initiating physical and emotional escalation respectfully, reading her signals to know when to advance and when to retreat. He discovered that women expect men to lead, to take charge, not arrogantly, but confidently. His cost? Years of thinking he was unlucky, that he was invisible, that there was something wrong with him. There wasn't. He just needed to embrace the role he was avoiding out of fear. And now comes the part that hurts the most. The mistakes you make without realizing it. First, over-compliance. You say yes to everything. You adjust your schedule, your plans, your entire life around her. Consequence? You are perceived as someone without their own opinion, without value, without structure. You become the friend, the useful one, never the desired one. Second, early overinvestment. You barely know her, and you're already spending too much time, energy, money. This doesn't signal genuine interest. It signals desperation. It signals that you have no other options. And that kills attraction before it's born. Third, ignoring signals of disinterest. Did she respond with, okay, cool, 3 times in a row? Did she cancel twice without rescheduling? Brother, she's not interested. But you insist, send more messages, try one more time. That's not persistence. It's emotional deafness, and it only pushes her further away. Fourth, seeking external validation. You ask if you look good, if she liked it, if you did it right, all the time. This conveys chronic insecurity, and insecurity is repellent. She wants an equal, not an emotional child. Fifth, absence of personal boundaries. You don't defend your own boundaries. She disrespects you, makes fun of your job, is always late, and you never say anything for fear of losing her. But here's the brutal truth. When you have no boundaries, you invite disrespect, and disrespect kills attraction. You lose the frame, lose the dynamic, become a doormat. And nobody desires a doormat. So what's the protocol? How do you escape this trap? First step, cultivate your purpose. Stop making your life revolve around finding a woman. Invest in your goals, your passions, your career, your hobbies. Become interesting because you are interesting, not because you try to impress. Genuine attraction emanates from a full life. Neediness emanates from an existential void. Choose. Second step, develop social calibration. Learn to read the room. Observe body language, tone of voice, response patterns. Adjust your approach in real time. If she's engaged, advance. If she's distant, retreat. This isn't manipulation. It's social intelligence. It's effective communication. It's respecting her rhythm while maintaining yours. Third step, establish clear boundaries from the start. Communicate your values, your standards, your non-negotiables. Do it calmly, without aggression, but with firmness. Do you like punctuality? Say so. Do you not tolerate disrespect? Demonstrate it. Do you expect reciprocity? Demand it. Boundaries don't push away the right women. They push away the wrong ones. And that's exactly what you want. Fourth step, demonstrate value indirectly. Tell stories that show your qualities. Resilience, humor, intelligence, leadership. Don't say you're confident. Act with confidence. Don't say you're interesting. Be interesting. Show through actions, stories, decisions. This creates organic attraction, not performative attraction. Fifth step, initiate escalation. Take the lead. Invite her on the next date. Suggest the place. Take her hand when the moment is right. Physically get closer when she signals openness. Lead with sensitivity, not imposition. Always respect her boundaries, but don't wait for her to decide everything. Women want to feel that you have direction, that you know what you want. Passivity is not respect. It's fear disguised. Now for the part you need to hear. The clock is ticking. Every day you spend signaling wrong is a day you confirm the old pattern. Tomorrow you will wake up and either continue to be the guy who tries too hard and gets too little, or you will be the guy who understands the game and plays it masterfully. There is no middle ground. There is no standing still. You either evolve or you repeat. And repeating this cycle of frustration, of the friend zone, of disrespect, of loneliness disguised as noble effort, will cost you more than you imagine. It will cost you your self-confidence. It will cost you years of your life. It will cost you the belief that you deserve to be desired. So here is your binary choice. You can close this video, pretend none of this applies to you, go back to autopilot, and keep doing the same things expecting different results. Or you can accept that there is a clear dynamic operating here, a mechanic of attraction that works regardless of your opinion of it. And you can learn to work with it instead of against it. You can become the man who passes the unconscious filter, not because he tricked the system, but because he developed the qualities the system looks for: real self-confidence, clear purpose, firm boundaries, demonstrated value, respectful leadership. This is not a shortcut, it is a path. And the path begins with a decision. The decision to stop sacrificing yourself in the hope that someone will finally notice your effort. The decision to build a life so solid that attraction becomes a consequence, not a goal. The decision to be a complete man who invites, not begs. Now tell me in the comments, which of these dynamics have you already noticed in your interactions? Which of these tactics will you try first to change your game? And if you want to go deeper, Download our free guide on the 3 pillars of authentic attraction in the link in the description. There you will find the complete map to get out of the friend zone and get on the radar of who really matters. Don't put off until tomorrow what has already cost you too much. Reclaim your worth. Reclaim your confidence. Reclaim your power of choice.